The OECS Assembly in St. Vincent today. Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness faces backlash over comments about the role of the opposition, and the U.S. President Donald Trump advises Iranians to evacuate the capital city, Tehran. Good morning, I'm Gavin Richards with the DBS Major Morning News. The details right after this.
Need one trusted place to stock up for your home, shop, or business? Fine Foods Inc. Distribution has got you covered. From dry goods and frozen foods to your favorite drinks, alcoholic and non-alcoholic, plus all the household must-have. We've got it all under one roof. We're right here in Jimmy Dominica, and yes, we deliver fast. Whether you're running a supermarket, a corner shop, a bar, or just like your pantry full and happy, Fine Foods Inc. brings you the best brands you know and love. Great prices, top-tier service, trusted products. Call us at 255-6810 or 316-0164 or drop by our Jimmy location to check out what's in store. Fine Foods Inc.
Fine Foods Inc. The biggest distributor for the biggest brands.
Since 1910, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited has proudly served Dominica, offering a wide variety of products and services in shipping, logistics, insurance, travel, retail, and wholesale. We are committed to serve you. Contact us today at 767-255-1100 or visit us at our main office on Old Street, Roseau. From humble beginnings to proud achievements, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited.
Petro Caribe. Tank installation is part of our mission. Excellent client support is what we got. Contribution to development of Dominica. Supply of LPG at an affordable rate. Let's go. Petro Caribe straight. No time to waste. So come on everyone with me to Petro Caribe. 250 gallon propane tank. 420 pound propane tank. 100 pound LPG cylinder. Petro Caribe. 20 pound fiberglass cylinder. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe.
DBS News.
Welcome back. First up in the news this morning, the Ministry of Education has confirmed an incident at the construction site of the new Dominica Grammar School and says students were never in any danger. The roof designated for the auditorium collapsed yesterday morning. Minister for Education Octavia Alfred says the matter is being investigated and no one was injured.
The Ministry of Education, Human Resource Planning, Vocational Training and National Excellence wishes to confirm an incident which occurred on Monday, June 16, 2025 at the construction site of the new Dominica Grammar School. The concrete roof of the structure designated for the school's auditorium collapsed during the ongoing construction works. Fortunately, no one was injured. There is no risk to students or staff as the construction area is secure and separate from school operations. Students and staff do not have access to the site. As such, classes and other activities continued as normal. The ministry is engaging with the contractor and the matter is under review. The Ministry of Education, Human Resource Planning, Vocational Training and National Excellence assures all that the safety of students, staff, and the wider school community remains our highest priority.
Minister for Education Octavia Alfred. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt has included Marigot MP Anthony Charles in his delegation for the 7th sitting of the OECS Assembly in St. Vincent today. The delegation also includes parliamentarians Kasani Laville, Roland Roy and Dr. Cassandra Williams. The assembly will be held under the theme Strengthening Regional Unity in a Shifting Global Order. Mr. Skerritt will attend the OECS Heads meeting tomorrow. The meeting will address key matters including free movement and the legislative framework for implementation and the impact of global trade and economic policies on OECS member states. During the session, Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. Ralph Gonzalez, will assume the chairmanship of the OECS Authority. Ambassador to the OECS and CARICOM, His Excellency Dr. Gerald Jajak, and Permanent Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, Missy Henderson, will also participate in the meeting. In the Prime Minister's absence, Minister for Tourism, Dennis Charles Pemberton, will serve as the acting Prime Minister. The Dominica Air and Seaport Authority, DASPA, has begun the Screener Certificate Training Program for 70 of its security officers. The 2-week program at Windsor Park Conference Center is being facilitated by Royston Griffin of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of St. Kitts and Nevis.
In accordance to Annex 17 3.4, which speaks to training, qualification, and the security culture, we must all change our mindset. The changes in aviation, these days we must realize that the aviation industries have been hit with different challenges. And we could look at the case from Belize, where recently that happened. And there are issues of insider threat that is growing globally, regionally. The greatest threat to any system is the people that work within it, who have the access and the know-how. And we must ensure that 4.2.5, which speaks to all persons other than passengers entering the facility, must and shall subject themselves to all screening. In 11.3 of the Doc 890-73, which break it down to say all other persons, it means that it's state, customs, police officers, airport staff, all who work within the industry, they must comply to the rules that governs the operation for ensuring safety and security for all. Failing to do so, this could have great impact on the country itself, both regionally and internationally.
And that's Royston Griffin of the St. Kitts and Nevis Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Ian Pinard is Chief Executive Officer of the Dominica Air and Seaport Authority.
The security of ports is a cornerstone of national development. Whether through air or sea, these gateways must be protected by individuals who are not only committed but trained and certified to the highest possible standards. Today, we take a bold and proactive step towards enhancing the quality, effectiveness, and professionalism of our screening personnel. The specialized training program facilitated by Mr. Royston Griffin of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Aviation of St. Kitts and Nevis is designed to equip our screeners with the competencies and technical know-how required to meet international civil aviation organization standards. Mr. Griffin brings with him a wealth of experience as a regulator and oversight officer, and we are fortunate to benefit from his expertise during this important training. This course focuses on 4 key competencies that are integral to modern aviation security. 1, the threat detection using X-ray machine. 2, operation of metal detection portals. 3, physical search techniques. And 4, the use of explosive trace detection technologies. These are not just technical skills, they are critical capabilities that make our screeners the first line of defense against unlawful interference with civil aviation.
Chief Executive Officer of the Dominica Air and Seaport Authority, Ian Pinard. Chairman of the Dominica Air and Seaport Authority, Bless Jones, says the initiative will greatly sharpen the skills of its security officers.
Today marks another very important milestone in Dominica's commitment to fostering efficient, secure, and sustainable air and sea transport systems. Our recent voluntary participation in the Global Carbon Offsetting and Reduction Scheme for International Aviation Initiative, along with the contract signing for the reconstruction of the Ansdi jetty, a clear demonstration of our resolve. These initiatives reinforce our vision of becoming not only ports of choice, but also destination of choice, and indeed a country of choice. DASPA is proud to host this Security Screeners Certificate Program, which will certify or recertify 71 participants over the next 2 weeks. This training will not only enhance knowledge, sharpen skills, and strengthen our national readiness, it will demonstrate the authorities' commitment to continued excellence in maintaining international standards and to increased security protocol at our ports of entry.
And as chairman of DASPA, Blaise Jones, 42 firearms have so far been intercepted at ports of entry into Dominica since January of 2025. Well, that's according to the acting police chief, Lincoln Corbett. Meantime, investigations are underway into the importation of a large quantity of firearms and ammunition into Dominica.
I can report that the Firearms Investigative Unit is currently conducting investigations into the importation of a large quantity of firearms and ammunition into the state. This unit comprises members of the Dominica Police Force, Customs, FIU, among other government organizations. Due to the ongoing investigation into this matter, I won't go into detail. However, during the period January 23rd of this year to June 14th of this year, a total of 42 firearms and 220 rounds of ammunition were intercepted at the ports of entry in Dominica. Among those firearms include 2 assault-type rifles, AR-15s. These basically are weapons of war. It's equivalent to the M16 that's carried by soldiers in war. And just to mention, for the year so far, in addition to what was intercepted, we have intercepted 7 additional firearms and 69 rounds of ammunition from the hand of suspected criminals. So we have 42 at the port and 7 doing our own local investigations on island. So that brings it to 49 firearms and 289 rounds of ammunition that have been removed from the hands of criminals. These seizures have led to the arrest of 21 individuals for possession of firearms and trafficking of firearms. Of these 21 individuals, 7 people have been convicted and fined at the court, while the other matters are pending trial at the court.
And that's the acting police chief, Lincoln Corbett. Meantime, Minister for National Security, Reuben Blackmore, says regional and international agencies have been assisting Dominica in its fight against illegal trafficking of firearms.
And certainly we have a challenge with illegal firearms. And certainly there's a syndicate, and the origin of which we are committed to dismantle. Working in concert with our regional and international law enforcement agencies, we shall continue to do that. And the interception that you have seen in the recent past, where 42 firearms have been intercepted at our ports of entry, demonstrate that the processes and systems that we have put in place are working. The coordination that we have been able to do with our regional and international law enforcement agencies is working. The cooperation that we have been able to forge with our regional and international law enforcement agencies is working. The intelligence that we have been able to cultivate is also very effective. Therefore, what we have done in order to ensure that we have the infrastructure in place to intercept illegal firearms coming to the country and components of firearms coming to the country, we were able to invest $2.7 million in order to actually procure scanners, which are now installed at all of our ports of entry, including the one at Longhouse in Portsmouth, to ensure that we have the infrastructure and the personnel so to do. We have been working in concert with our regional and international players to provide training to our law enforcement officers in tracing of illegal firearms.
Minister for National Security, Reuben Blackmore. And Dominica's Minister for Environment, Kozia Frederick, has been appointed as head of the 14-member Small Island Developing States, that's SIDS, UN Regional Group. Well, the appointment came during the opening session of the 13th meeting of the UNFCCC Facilitative Working Group of the Local Communities and Indigenous Peoples Platform, which was held in Germany last week. The session sets an ambitious 2025-2027 work plan to deepen the integration of traditional knowledge and community-led solutions throughout the global climate process. Frederick, who will serve a two-year term, says he's honored to carry the collective voice of SIDS and will work tirelessly to secure concrete, community-driven action that protects the people, cultures, and ecosystems. And 300 individuals will be confirmed with degrees from the Dominica State College when the 23rd commencement ceremony convenes next month. A special honors ceremony will be held on Tuesday, the 1st of July, at the Goodwill Parish Hall to recognize outstanding academic achievement ahead of the commencement ceremony. Marketing and Communications Officer at the Dominica State College is Kimberly Benjamin.
The Dominica State College DSC will confer degrees on approximately 300 graduates during its 23rd commencement ceremony, scheduled for Thursday, July 3rd, 2025, at the Windsor Park Sports Stadium. In the lead-up to this milestone event, a special honors ceremony will be held on Tuesday, July 1st, at the Goodwill Parish Hall to recognize outstanding academic achievement. Graduates will receive degrees from the Faculty of Applied Arts and Technology, Faculty of Arts and Sciences, Faculty of Education, Faculty of Health Sciences, Faculty of General Studies. The commencement ceremony will feature Dr. Natasha Maxine, endocrinologist, as the featured speaker. The event will be co-hosted by Ms. Kimberly Benjamin, Marketing and Communications Officer, and Mr. Alden Gage, Senior IT Technician. The ceremony is scheduled to begin at 2:30 p.m. and will highlight the hard work and perseverance of the 2025 graduating class.
And that's the Marketing and Communications Officer at the Dominica State College, Kimberly Benjamin. Let's head into news from the region this morning. Jamaica's People's National Party President Mark Golden has strongly rejected Prime Minister Andrew Holness's recent claim that the government does not need an opposition to remain accountable. Holness had also gone on to say that the supporters of the ruling Jamaica Labour Party, the JLP, are sufficient for oversight. While in a blunt response, Golden dismissed Holness's remarks as a nonsense argument, which he said reflects the Prime Minister's ongoing misunderstanding of Jamaica's democratic governance system. Golden says that the Jamaica's constitution details the roles and functions of the opposition, including acting as a check on government's power, contributing to bipartisan governance through key appointments and legislative amendments, and presenting alternative perspectives in Parliament. And on the international scene, the U.S. President Donald Trump has urged Iranians to evacuate Iran, citing what he said was the country's rejection of a deal to curb nuclear weapons development. World leaders meeting at the Group of Seven summit in Canada called for a de-escalation of the worst ever conflict between Israel and Iran, saying that Iran must never have a nuclear weapon while affirming Israel's right to defend itself. But Donald Trump has repeatedly urged Iran to give up its nuclear weapons ambitions. Iranian media reported explosions and heavy air defense fire in Tehran early this morning, with smoke rising in the city's east after an explosion of suspected Israeli projectiles. Well, that's the news. Let's recap the headlines. The Ministry of Education has confirmed an incident at the construction site of the new Dominica Grammar School and says students were never in any danger. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt has included Marigot MP Anthony Charles in his delegation for the 7th sitting of the OECS Assembly in St. Vincent today. Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness faces backlash over comments about the role of the opposition, and the U.S. President Donald Trump advises Iranians to evacuate the capital city, Tehran. That's the news. Stay tuned for sports.
Are you tired of having the same boring breakfast every morning? Well, Monflake Oats is the healthy and perfect solution just for you. Make your breakfast exciting by adding Monflakes to your pancakes, parfait, or even milkshake. Monflake can be found in different sizes and available in granola, such as Caribbean or Hawaiian. Stop worrying about what to prepare for your breakfast, dessert, snack, or even dinner. Monflake is the best addition to your meal. Grab yourself a bag today.
Locally distributed by Fine Foods Inc. and available island-wide.
Since 1910, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited has proudly served Dominica, offering a wide variety of products and services in shipping, logistics, insurance, travel, retail, and wholesale. We are committed to serve you. Contact us today at 767-255-1100 or visit us at our main office on Old Street, Roseau. From humble beginnings to proud achievements, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited.
Petro Caribe. Tank installation is part of our mission. Excellent client support is what we got. Contribution to development of Dominica. Supply of LPG at an affordable rate. Let's go. Petro Caribe straight. No time to waste. So come on everyone with me to Petro Caribe. 250 gallon propane tank. 420 pound propane tank. 100 pound LPG cylinder. Petro Caribe. 20 pound fiberglass cylinder. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Just Mobank me. Here's my ID.
Just Mobank me. It's that easy.
The faster, easier way to bank. NBD makes it easy to bank online, anywhere, at any time with Mobanking. The faster, easier way to bank.
The faster, easier way. So transfer funds on Mobanking.
The faster, easier way to pay your bills with Mobanking.
The faster, easier way. So order checks on Mobanking.
The faster, easier pay employees on Mobanking. The faster, easier way to bank. Plus, you can now top up your phone on Mobanking. No need for cash or card. Simply log into Mobanking to top up your phone. Visit nbdominica.com or follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more details.
The faster, easier way to bank.
NBD. Your partner, your bank.
Covering the nation and beyond. DBS Sports Report.
Well, welcome to the morning sports report. Let's bowl off with cricket news as the West Indies T20 captain Shea Hope says it was good to end the UK tour on a high note. The West Indies, after being whitewashed by England in the white ball series, bounced back on the weekend to beat Ireland. Well, Hope says that while the results against England were poor, it was important to end with some sort of positive.
It's very important, especially after the back of that English series that we had a couple of days ago. You know, they basically give us a battering, so it's great to finish the UK tour on a high. Wonderful display from the batters, especially Evan getting that good start. And you know, once he gets flowing, he's a very destructive batter. So happy to see the guys, you know, raising their hands in the batting group, and hopefully we can continue like that as a team. I believe that's the brand of cricket that we're trying to play. It's something that we always speak about, throwing that first punch, ensuring we put pressure on their bowlers, don't allow them to settle as much. It's something I felt as though we lacked a bit in the England series. But yeah, it's great to see the guys really finishing this one on a high. You know, we didn't get cricket in the first two T20Is, but just to finish the tour on a high, displaying the way we want to go about playing our cricket was a great thing to see. Well, one thing that you can look at, stats don't really lie, and we've been struggling to get out the power play, 2, 3, 4 wickets down on some occasions as a batting unit, and then with the ball it's the same thing, flipped. So we struggle to take wickets in the power play to put other teams under pressure. Again, things that we're trying to improve on as a team. We're getting there, but it's still work in progress.
And that's the West Indies T20 captain Shea Hope. West Indies women captain Hayley Matthews says the bowling in the back end was terrible as the West Indies went down to South Africa in the second ODI on the weekend in Barbados. South Africa posted 309 for 9 in their 50 overs. The West Indies, chasing 310, could only get 269.
Yeah, well, I think we started off pretty well and were able to apply a lot of pressure to South Africa in the first 10 to 15 overs. But yeah, I think the batting wicket flattened up quite a bit, and we probably weren't able to execute our defensive plans as well as we wanted to.
And then when you guys batted, a lot of emphasis really is on you as well. But overall, it was a decent effort because it's the highest score against South Africa in a chase for you guys. The batting performance, how do you rate that?
Yeah, I still think we can take a lot of positives out of it for sure. Obviously, chasing 309 was always going to be a hard task. But I think for us to get to 260 was quite impressive. But also the way we got there with so many batters chipping in, and I guess not just relying on one or two players, was really good to see.
Series level, one apiece, one game to go. What do you think you need to do to get over the line in that one?
Well, I think we were really good in areas and periods today. And probably we just need to be good for a bit longer, especially within the bowling innings. I feel like we definitely hit par with the bats and went about our innings really well. Probably just trying to restrict them to a bit less next match. Is definitely going to put us in where the better chance in the next game.
And that's the West Indies women's captain Hayley Matthews. The 3-match series is leveled at a game apiece, and the third and final one-day international takes place this morning. The first ball is at 10 o'clock. Well, let's move on to some football news as the head coach of the DSFC football team, Jordan Luke, believes internal challenges, including player rifts and the departures due to personal reasons or unwillingness to adapt to new structures, are part of the reasons for the struggles of his team so far in the DFA Premier League. Well, the newly promoted DSFC have lost 8 matches out of 9 played, and they're sitting in 9th place on 3 points at the end of round 1.
Well, the first half, I think it was a bit of hard luck. It was a bit of unfortunate circumstances. You had instances where players, for personal reasons, fell out, got disjointed. We had some rifts forming in the team. I think in the transfer window, the number of players who have left shows that maybe there might have been some internal struggle going on. But I think in the end, what really happened is the people who maybe had other objectives or had their eyes turned or maybe wanted a different life. Maybe I want to be in a different place. Maybe I just want something different for myself. That is also a possibility, and that is also fair, But then you also had players who left because they didn't want to accept the new structure, which I want to create.
And that was the head coach of the DSFC football team, Jordan Luke. Well, he believes that his team can rebound and make the push to avoid relegation.
I think on the long run, second half, we might be one of the teams. We might be the Portsmouth of this year. I think that is my aim. Portsmouth went on a really good run in the second half of the season. I think the season before that, it was Southeast. They always have a team after the second half, after the first round break. Maybe they ask themselves a few questions. They get deeper into training, and they really get on the right groove. The first half of the season, it was tough. The administration of the team has made a decision. They've put certain things in place, and we've begun moving in a particular direction. And the team is starting to look better. I think we have that. And then to avoid relegation, we just have to continue on the good road. Have faith, trust the process. Players need to believe in me as their coach. And going into the second half of the season, not making any promises, not making any predictions, because football is a game of randoms. Hopefully, the second half definitely does not turn out like the first half. Hopefully, we can get a few wins, maybe get ourselves to 18 points, 20 points. That should be a safe number.
Head coach of the DSFC football team, Jordan Luke. In some more football news, captain of the Surgical Southeast football team, Sidney Lockhart, is calling for patience as his squad looks to regain the form that made them champions in Dominica's football for a number of years. Well, Lockhart says that the club is going through a rebuilding phase. Southeast are currently tied for 6th place at the end of round 1 with 12 points.
Well, right now we really trying to rephase. Because a lot of players left and we're trying to recruit young new players. And right now we understand is rebuilding process, so I guess that's what that comes with it. But we're trying to keep the losses to a minimum. But I guess it's not working out right now.
All right, things are not really working your way so far this season, but there are a few bright spots. For example, Darren James, although he didn't fire tonight, but it's been good for you guys this season.
Yeah, it's been really good. I mean, top scorer of the league right now. But I guess maybe the international break had a little effect on the guys. We didn't train enough. Like, all that impact make him lose a sort of his form.
And that's captain of the Surgical Southeast football team, Sidney Lockhart. Well, let's take a look at the point standings at the end of round 1. The defending champions Central Cooperative Credit Union Dubla FC, they're on top of the points table with 23 points. The Belfast Estate Mahusuka Strikers are in second place on 20 points. Valvoline Way United third on 15 points. The Roosevelt Scarlet Bombers and Middleham United, they're also on 15 points. Surgical South East and Promex Hallam United are on 12 points. Petro Caribbean Point Michel has 8 points. DSFC 3 points. And Connect 767 Quartz Redikasha East Central has 2 points. Let's go back to some cricket news as the West Indies players Akil Hussain, Evan Lewis, Johnson Charles and Shimron Hetmyer, Gudakesh Moti, Joel Andrew and Amir Jangu have all been named in the Guyana Amazon Warriors squad for the second edition of the Global Super League. Well, the tournament is set for the 10th of July in Guyana. The Warriors, who finished in third place in the inaugural season last year, have made a few key adjustments while maintaining a solid core led by their marquee names such as Imran Tahir and England's Moeen Ali. With the Warriors, however, will be without key players as Shea Hope, Kevin Anderson and Ruston Chase are all on West Indies test duty, and Kimo Paul is sidelined with an injury. Well, the 2025 Global Super League will feature the Central Stags from New Zealand, the Hobart Hurricanes 11 from Australia, the defending champions Rangpur Riders of Bangladesh, and the Dubai Capitals, the reigning champions of the International League T20. And the former Barbados captain and West Indies all-rounder Ryan Hines has joined the West Indies cricket camp in the build-up to the 3-match test series against Australia. The 44-year-old is part of Cricket West Indies International Coaching Experience Program, and he will be with the team for the ongoing camp and the first test match at Kensington Oval. Well, the program is geared towards providing opportunities for local and regional coaches to gain experience and knowledge working at the highest level of the sport. Well, Ryan Hines, you'll remember him, he played some 15 test matches and 14 one-day internationals between 2001 and 2004. The West Indies, they will meet the world's #1 ranked team, Australia, in the opening test, which bowls off in Barbados next week, Wednesday. And finally, we can also tell you that the West Indies Academy, they put in a solid performance to beat the Sri Lanka emerging players by an innings inside of 3 days in their 4-day matchup in Antigua, and that ended yesterday. Well, Sri Lanka batted first. They made 241. We had Joshua Bishop taking 3 for 68 and Nathan Edward 2 for 44. The West Indies, in reply, 374 was their score, with Mavendra Dinyal getting 82, Rivaldo Clark 57, and Teddy Bishop and Akim Ogis scoring 50 runs each. Batting the second time, the Sri Lankans were bowled out for 107, with Kelvin Pittman taking 3 for 22 and Renico Smith 3 for 29. The West Indies won that game by an innings and 26 runs. Well, that's where we'll come to the end of the DBS Morning Sports Report. More sporting highlights throughout the course of the day. You can look out for some more sports at 1:28 during the 13:15 lunchtime news. Until then, I'm Gavin Richards saying good morning.
Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Just Mobank me. Here's my ID.
Just Mobank me. It's that easy.
The faster, easier way to bank. NBD makes it easy to bank online, anywhere, at any time. With Mobanking, the faster, easier way to bank.
The faster, easier way. So transfer funds on Mobanking.
The faster, easier way. To pay your bills with Mobanking. The faster, easier way.
So order checks on Mobanking.
The faster, easier way. Pay employees on Mobanking. The faster, easier way to bank. Plus, you can now top up your phone on MoBanking. No need for cash or CAD. Simply log into MoBanking to top up your phone. Visit nbdominica.com or follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more details.
The faster, easier way.